Hello and welcome to Dateline New Haven. I'm your host, Paul Bass, inviting you to look behind the headlines on the stories that make our community tick. Today is a Headlines and Basslines Day. We talk about what the commenters wrote wrote to articles that were in the New Haven Independent. We have the headlines, their comments, and then some music to leaven it all. And the New Haven Independent is my main source for news about New Haven and so many other people's. And what the commenters write adds so much to the texture of these stories, and we pick out some of the highlights to read them here. Here's a headline that it was in the Independent this week. Daggett demolition debated. That's Daggett Square. It's the old factory that for years had sort of underground artists living there, and then it wasn't safe. They got cleared out. There were some slumlords who were getting cheap rents from people, but keeping them in danger. Yale wants to tear down that building for a surface parking lot. Not usually a popular idea in New Haven. Although in the Hill, there is a parking crunch with the hospitals, so there are people debating whether that should be done. And they debated it in the Independent. Here's what the commenters wrote. Concrete Elm wrote, didn't Yale buy out garages in downtown New Haven and kick out non-Yale staff within the last few years? Makes ya think. Supercat wrote, I am not buying that the building cannot be repurposed. Pretty much anything can be remediated. And I believe you can apply for grants and funding for any kind of environmental remediation. The Hill does not need any more parking lots. There are parking lots all over the Hill that are underutilized. The Orchard Sherman lot is always empty. I don't know if you call that the Hill, but okay. That's the other campus. There are numerous other 3-4-story cement parking lots in between North and South frontage that are never full. There's a giant pro park lot that always has space. Why is there a need for another parking lot? The more cars and parking lots, the more pollution and exhaust particulates for residents to be breathing in. The Hill does not need any more parking lots. It's a tad morbid and depressing, as it is with all the cemeteries and parking lots. Dava Ghost, one of my favorite names, wrote, yes! $sign in the S. Anything can be remediated. Any structure, $sign for the S, can be $sign S saved. Structural deficits can be fixed. Waste can be shipped off-site. But sometimes something makes it not make sense. Can you guess what it is? And that's the $signs all over. Kevin McCarthy writes, Deva Ghost sadly does not chew in the real world where money counts. Decades ago, the state allowed municipalities to delay demolitions for 90 days. The idea was to provide time to develop a viable alternative to demolition. Sadly, it is rare when this happens. In many, if not all cases, it is much cheaper to tear a building down and build something new than it is to rehabilitate the building. Just to be clear, the city does not have the authority to block the demolition. It can delay demolition, but only for 90 days. The demolition code is part of the state building code. Local officials merely administer it. And in this case, the site plan review is pro forma. Parking is an allowed use. The legislation committee of the board of aldermen is considering a proposal to broaden as of right uses of industrial buildings. Yale should delay demolition until this proposal is acted on in a matter of weeks. While I support the proposal of the city to develop a comprehensive approach to deal with old industrial buildings, this is complicated, and in many cases these buildings cannot be saved, but we should try to save the ones we can. Steve D. writes, that entire block bordered by Howard, Daggett, and Congress is an eyesore. Yale should redo the entire block to a central parking garage for public and workers. They could add street-level retail or a food hall that both the residents and the people who work and use the hospital can frequent. Jane writes, instead of bringing more cars to the city, why don't Yale and Yale New Haven test a commuter bus program for employees? Google's Bay Area G-Bus shuttles have been successful. Commuter buses can complement existing trains and Yale shuttles with free parking at lots outside the city, such as I-95 carpool lots. Employees could relax during the commute while reducing parking demand, fuel consumption, and pollution. Kim wrote, Jane, I'm sure you know that Yale does run community buses, sell all its routes, serve the main campus in Yale New Haven. In practice, they are not limited to university employees. Okay. The Dude Man writes, while preserving history is important, we also need to be honest about what this building's become in recent years. The property has increasingly served as a spot for gathering for drug activity, with individuals frequently loitering on the sidewalk and surrounding area. Its close proximity to the Apt Foundation has unfortunately contributed to ongoing quality of life concerns for neighbors. A vacant and deteriorating building does not help the surrounding community. Redeveloping the site into a well-maintained parking area would improve visibility, reduce opportunities for illegal activity, and help clean up a section of the neighborhood that is heavily traveled by residents, workers, and children attending the elementary school at the end of the block. The discussion should focus not only on the building's past, but also on what best serves the neighborhood today and improves public safety for the future. Quinchion or Quinkion or Quinchion or Quinchion writes, I like the idea that Jane brings up. It would be smart to basically have a computer bus system that would actually serve the local colleges in the area. I honestly don't think the local CT transit bus system would be good enough to serve most of the college kids. Park and ride commuter lots should be situated and located mostly outside of town for students and employees who are mainly commuting from farther away, particularly near highways. I personally would like to see more housing built at that site just because the city could always benefit greatly from there being more public housing provided. And now we're going to take a little music break. Kristen Ford popped by last week. Her career's going great, and she has a new album out, a new single. The single is Pop, Pop, Fizz, Fizz, and here it goes. Kristen Forrest, Pop Pop Fizz Fizz. She was on the air last week with us about her new album. This is the sing-off new album. And Pop Pop Fizz, Kristen Forrest. You listen to Dateline New Haven, WNHH-FM, your home for community radio. We're doing what the commenters wrote today, headlines and basslines, some music in between. Headlines from the New Haven Independent and what our commenters, i.e. the op-ed crew, had to say about it. Here was the headline: Para arrested for allegedly slapping child at school. So they arrested a part-time paraprofessional who works in the city school system for slapping a 6-year-old. Here's what people had to say about it. Failed Mayor Elliker wrote, "This is truly awful to hear. NHPS, New Haven Public Schools, needs to do a much better job of vetting and training staff to ensure this will never happen again. However, this kind of behavior and the actions of the paraprofessional are completely unacceptable and in no way justified. I look forward to hearing the defense of the para, but for now, this serves as a wake-up call for the failed NHPS." Neighbor wrote, "Horrible. NHPS children suffer when schools don't have proper special education staff for strict adherence to IEPs and 504s. This child should have had additional support through the lunchroom transition. In addition to the regular classroom paraprofessional, NHPS is an original source of trauma for lots of kids. Wish Elliker would bring a lawsuit against the state and federal government for knowingly underfunding city school special education requirements. Now, instead, and rightfully so, there's going to be another huge negligence lawsuit." Supercat wrote, "Homeschool your children, period. Problem solved, period. And by homeschool your children, I don't mean stick them in a room with an electronic device. I mean homeschool your children with pencil and paper." Okay, because that's what schooling is. "Teach them reading, writing, grammar, arithmetic, etc." Heather C. wrote, "Supercat, homeschooling is not the answer. First of all, educators are supposed to be properly educated and trained, and those working with special needs and extra help needs children are supposed to have specialized training on how to best educate and support these children's needs. Most parents don't have the necessary education or training to be the best choice for the child's education. And many parents have to work to survive and support their families. Public education is a right, and quality public education should be provided. Our special needs and extra help needs children should get the best educators and staffing available for them. The public needs to demand that our government on every level do more to provide quality education for every child." Kata S. wrote, "Wow, this is so sad. I can't imagine how it feels to see her nonverbal son come home with a bite mark, and then to hear no one, including the superintendent, was able to give an explanation as to what happened. Then to have this happen next. This is what happens when you keep bloating an administration with more and more admins who aren't doing anything to improve our schools and refuse to properly staff, support, and compensate the teachers and paraprofessionals who spend the most time with kids. Disgraceful all around." Heather C. wrote, "Kata S. I worked in a daycare and as a nanny and as a volunteer in the NHPS for a time. Small children ages 6 and under and special needs children and nonverbal children sometimes bite each other. And even with an adequate number of teachers and paras, it can happen before you can stop it. Or you may not know unless the child cries or you see it or someone tells you. You might not be aware that one child bit another child. When people become aware of it, then they should know how to address it appropriately with the children to help them understand not to bite or hit each other, and to find other ways to communicate their frustration or anger or defend themselves." Hugh Bridgers wrote, "I've worked with nonverbal autistic people. Sometimes the lower level care staff is not equipped to deal with them in terms of their emotional maturity. You have to have a lot of patience, and you can't react to the things they do as if it is a personal affront to you. My conclusion is that these people react the same way they would with their own kids, which also says a lot about what some kids experience at home, being slapped and being yelled at for being kids and doing kid things because their parents aren't emotionally mature and were probably treated that way themselves." Okay, that's kind of heavy. Let's lighten it up a little bit. We have Nina Simone is feeling good, so we can feel good here at WNHH-FM 103.5 in New Haven.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. new life for me. Ooh, 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 and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies all having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that's what I mean. And this old world is a new world and a bold world for me. Yeah, yeah. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. Scent of the pine, you know how I feel. Oh, freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. I'm feeling good.
Well, she really ends that song with everything she's got, Nina Simone. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and she's feeling good. We're feeling good here on WNHH-FM's Headline and Basslines, what the commenters wrote. Articles from the New Haven Independent. We read the headline, then we skip to what the commenters said. There's some musical interludes. Here was a headline of a story that got a lot of discussion. This is the kind of story that people who read the New Haven Independent and get involved in New Haven care a lot about. I care a lot about it. Pedestrian Plaza preserved. It's that Rainbow Row, that painted part of Orange Street between Center Street. Is it Center? And Crown. That's just one block, but they closed it to traffic, and some people wanted it in the nice weather so you could have tables outside and pedestrians, and some people feel very strongly in each direction that you need to let people drive through and have a couple extra parking spaces for the businesses, or we should have like reclaiming our streets for pedestrians and have sort of an urban life around it. So they're going to reopen it, but fewer tables in a shorter season. ALW wrote, well, I was hoping to bring a large group of people here for a lunch stop on a walking tour. But given the decrease in tables, I might have to rethink that because we don't have space to sit. I'll also tell them to avoid patronizing 9 Square Market and Somos as they don't see value in the plaza. Wow, that's pretty heavy. That's the 2 stores who want cars go through. What a short-sighted decision by all. Cars take over space on nearly every street in the city. And this is one of the few oases in downtown where pedestrians are first. Newsflash, shortening the plaza season, taking away tables and letting speeding cars and empty parked cars take up valuable public space don't solve any of the issues the business owners complain about. It just crams pedestrians and any of those issues into narrow sidewalks while reallocating space to only those who have cars. The Orange Street Plaza should be made permanent. The businesses who oppose it should find a suburban strip mall to move in order to free up space for businesses that actually recognize the benefit of a pedestrian plaza in a dense downtown. ALW is not having it with people who don't sign up for new urbanism. Roger Classon Horvath wrote, quoting from the article, I will also tell them to avoid, from that last comment, I also tell them to avoid patronizing Now Square Market and so much as they don't see the value in the plaza. Close quote. Yeah, I kind of didn't like that either. Roger wrote, small businesses operate on thin margins and a boycott can threaten livelihoods. So we're going to boycott people? I don't get to my opinion. Seems to me that these shop owners are raising practical concerns about smoking, loitering, cleanliness, or safety rather than opposing this public seating itself. Punishing these businesses for participating in a public policy debate discourages honest discussion of these community issues. The city itself stated that it is trying to find a happy, accommodating middle ground. Oh, this is interesting. Heather C. writes, I disagree with the street and others being closed to vehicles because it makes it harder to get around the city. It becomes a deterrent to shop, dine, or being entertained for people who don't walk very far or who live in further out neighborhoods or in the suburbs or don't have bus service near them or have small children, are elderly, or uncomfortable walking far between their parked vehicle and a business at night, and parking garages are either too far for them or feel unsafe to them. It also makes it harder for businesses to get service from customer delivery service companies or to get trucks to deliver supplies or pick up trash, and it reduces the number of a wide variety of demographics customers who will be willing to patronize their businesses. I have no objections to restaurants and cafes or coffee shops having sidewalk seating directly in front of them, or carving out a section of parking spaces on the street in front of them for cafe seating, as long as the sidewalks are still wide enough for ADA use and, oh, good luck on that, Heather, and the street can still have the vehicle traffic, and the food and beverage business requests it and agree to maintain these spaces during the summer. But it seems to me a games store and a pride center are not generating income from customers sitting on the street tables the way a food or beverage business does. And the complaint that there aren't enough public spaces to sit outdoors is silly. We have an entire green available to congregate outdoors on in the midst of downtown. Make use of it instead of taking over the streets. Interesting. ALW retorts, how does this block being closed make it more difficult to get around the city? Or do you mean specifically by car? Because there are parallel streets to block over to you, center is still open, Crown is still open, all with on-street parking, and there are 2 parking garages directly adjacent with more a block away. People will routinely park at Walmart and walk the equivalent of multiple city blocks to the parking lot and store. But for some reason, is it really multiple city blocks? I don't know, small blocks. But for some reason, demand that if they want to drive a car in downtown, they must be able to park directly in front of their destination, or it's a war on cars. The Green would be a great place to congregate if it had a cafe serving food and plentiful places to sit. Instead, it is just grass and pathways with a smattering of benches, and people are opposing the plans to improve the Green too for historical preservation complaints or something. Or so, unless the construction is let up, maybe it's not such a bad thing to close a low-travel block of public street to let people spread out and enjoy food and dancing. Nick V weighed in. Nick V wrote, yeah, I think the night market events prove that there's a hunger for more pedestrianized spaces in New Haven. The atmosphere of those events are great. Unfortunately, the city always wants to prioritize cars and parking over people. Quinkion wrote, I actually agree that the city should try to make the plaza into a permanent public space going forward. The fact that the location is in the heart of the city makes me think that there should be more spaces that are accommodated for people and not purposely for cars. It would personally make sense to me if Crown Street was to eventually become a two-way street as part of the plaza area, becoming a permanent public space and a half-block corridor, mainly for pedestrians only. I think New Haven needs that type of change that would basically help create a better version of downtown. Notes wrote, Ellicker's war on cars continues. Which some people just will blame Justin Ellicker if like there's a cloud in the sky. ALW wrote, yawn. You can't drive a car in one block of 216 miles of city streets that are open to cars. Oh, I forgot East Rock Park. Sorry, 215 miles. I guess it really is a war on cars. Drivers are so oppressed. Well, Notes, don't take that line down. Notes wrote back, this city is now irrationally littered with speed bumps of varying heights. Seneca, Westville has 4 in less than a quarter mile. Anthony is a 2 or 4 block street, depending on how you look at it, divided by a stop sign. The first block has 2 bumps, the first of which is right after you turn onto Anthony. The second 25 feet in front of the stop sign. It's stupid. A woman lost her life after hitting one of Ellicker Speed's bumps and lost her car into a tree. I don't know that. I'm surprised the city hasn't been sued. Then take Edgewood Avenue, please. Formerly 2 lanes, now 1 lane and capable of handling the traffic. A stop sign or light inducing nearly unused bike lanes. He's right about the bike lanes. That delay traffic, make traversing the downtown corridor miserable. Miserable. Poor guy's miserable. He stopped for a red light. And the shrinking of State Street, which is supposed to increase the size of building lots of housing, is now a deluxe bikes corridor with less parking. It also is a lot of housing, but okay. There's more. And of course, Ellicker's continuing blockade of Edgewood Park during the 2 months out of the year when families have the time and weather to best use the park and its many picnic and nature areas. Billy V wrote, I'm disappointed in the stance from Nice Square Market. I'm not a regular. Perhaps I grab a falafel and miscellaneous groceries a couple times a month for years now. I enjoy the plaza and happily eat my food there. Anecdotally, panhandling and other nuisance behavior happens regardless of the plaza. I don't notice it any more frequently with it. Yes, people use the tables to smoke and drink, but is it actually causing an increase in antisocial behavior or crime? At the plaza, I also see residents and neighbors relaxing and chatting with each other as spontaneous meetings happen. Public spaces are used by a variety of audiences and purposes, some more or less savory. Should misuse be a justification to close the green and other spaces throughout New Haven as well? Or should we make an effort to foster healthy and vibrant public spaces in our dense urban center? Heather C's back in. She writes, Billy V, that is what the green is for, not public streets. The plan to redesign the green with tables and chairs and make it safer to cross streets to get to and slowing down traffic on Temple Street as a Woonerf or a Sharrow should encourage more people to use the green as a comfortable public gathering space, much like Central Park in NYC or Lincoln Park in Chicago. Think Twice wrote, the nerve of that business owner to not want drug addicts and homeless congregating in front of his business. Where does he think he is? The shoreline? Lucy Parsons wrote, it's for pedestrian safety. This has been shown to increase the number of people downtown, not decrease it. It also increases patronage of local shops, contrary to popular belief. Cars don't come with public parking spaces directly outside whatever establishments their owners would like to visit. Ghostwalker85 chimed in. Ghostwalker85 wrote, New Haven should have no car zones. Wherever there are restaurants, there should be a no car zone at least 200 feet each way in front of the restaurant. We already have no gun zones that work just fine. So why can't we have no car zones? I think it'd be a win-win for everybody. Winfo story, great idea. I love when they close the streets for summertime. It's just awesome to sit at a table with friends and chat over dinner and watch the scenery as the sun turns into dusk. Yeah, it was really nice last night at dusk. Give people a chance to get some much-needed exercise. Mother of Exiles wrote, I'm going to keep on getting Eddie sandwiches and peacefully sitting outside in the plazas. Prices are fair. The food is good. Sitting in the shade with the fresh air in the Orange Tree Plaza is a great way to pass my lunch. He can hold his opinion. I've had co-workers who thought I was insane for sitting by the fountain on the green during my lunch. It's called minding your business. I've been panhandled, cruised, bothered in every old place you can think of. Doesn't mean I stopped riding the bus or eating in public spaces. Thin-skinned suburbanites have lost sense of what they can survive. Doesn't take much to say to somebody, no, I don't have any cash. I can't help you. Just eat your food, chat with your friends, listen to an audiobook or the sounds of the gulls, and get on with your life. It's lunch. Username 06443 wrote, not my experience, quote, sitting in the shade with the fresh air in Orange Tree Plaza, close quote. The only air I breathe there is the stench of urine and weed. Very unappetizing. So he means both the urine and the weed. Watson wrote, I hope the city will install bollards or concrete barriers to prevent vehicles from accidentally or intentionally crashing through the plastic, quote, promenade, close quote, sign. You're listening to comments from the Independent, Dateline, New Haven. Take a musical break with Sir Mix-a-Lot, Posse on Broadway.
Hey, man, what's up, man? You nasty mess with John, man? How can I help you this afternoon? Check this out. My name is Sir Mix-a-Lot. I got a jam, Posse on Broadway from LP Swats, man.
Sir Mix-a-Lot, huh? I'm sorry, gentlemen. We don't play rap music here. We play real music. You're going to have to take your picture.
My posse's on Broadway. My posse's on Broadway.
Me and Kid Sensation at home away from home in the black Benz limo with a cellular phone. I'm calling up the posse, it's time to get the ripping. I freaking each sunroof to keep you suckers tripping. Everybody's looking, if you're jealous, turn around. The AMG kick keeps us closer to the ground. We're getting good grip from the 50 series tires. The Alpine's bumping, but I need the volume higher, cause the 808 kick drum makes a girly stick done. We're rolling Rainier, and the jealous wanna get some. Every time we do this, sucker MCs wanna battle. I'm the man they love to hate, the J.R. Ewing of Seattle. Picked up the posse on 23rd and Jackson, heading for the strip. Yes, we're looking for some action. and the limo's kinda crowded. The whole car was leaning back. Maharaji's watching TV with two girlies on his lap. On Martin Luther King, the set looks kinda dead. We need a new street, so posse move ahead. And we all look kinda suave, the crew you can't forget. The Mix-a-Lot posse, Cole ripping up the set.
My posse's on Broadway. My posse's on Broadway.
Yup.
My posse's on Broadway. My posse's on Broadway.
Rolling in my posse was getting kinda bored. There's not another posse with more points scored. We don't walk around like criminals or flex like big gorillas. My homeboy Kid Sensation is the teenage lady killer. Maharaji's on the depth side, dancing like a freak. The girlies see his booty and their knees get weak. Larry is the white guy, people think he's funny. A real estate investor who makes a lot of money. Clacking lots of dollars, we all got gold. Cruising in his Benz and ain't got no place to go. Well, in 23rd, we saw nothing but thugs. The girlies was too skinny from smoking all them drugs. So the rock man got them and their butts just dropped. The freaks look depressed because our Benz won't stop. At 23rd and Union, the driver broke left. Kevin shouted, Broadway, it's time to get deaf. My girl blew me a kiss. She said I was the best. She's looking mighty freaky in a black silk dress. The closer that we get, the crazier I feel. My posse's on Broadway, it's time to get ill.
My posse's on Broadway.
Cruising Broadway and my wheels spin slow. Rolling with your posse is the only way to go. The girlies by the college was looking for a ride. We tried to pick 'em up, but we had no room inside. We put 'em on the trunk, we put 'em on the hood. Some sat up with the driver, they made it feel good. The posse's getting bigger, there's much too many freaks. My muffler's dragging, my suspension's getting weak. Now the freaks are getting hungry and Mix-a-Lot streeting. We stopped at Taco Bell for some Mexican eating, but Taco Bell was closed. The girls was on my tip. They said, go back the other way, we'll stop and eat a dip. This is the place where the cool hang out. The swats like to play and the rich flaunt clout. Posse to the burger stand so big we walk in twos. We're getting dirty looks from those other sucker crews. Kid Sensation dropped a 20 and didn't even miss it. Skeezer from another crew, she picked it up and kicked it. Her boyfriend's illin', he went to slap her face. My homeboy PLB, Cole sprayed the boy with mace. Cause I never liked the punk who beat up on his girl. If you don't have game, then let her leave your world. We took his girl with us, with him she rode the bus. She gave the boy the finger and the sucker starts to cuss. Boy, I got a deaf posse, you got a bunch of dudes. You broke cold crying about the rock man blues. You beat up on your girl and now you're all upset. She's with the Mix-a-Lot posse on the Broadway set.
Yeah, that's Sir Mix-a-Lot with my posse's on Broadway on KNES.
Well, actually, it's on WNHH-FM, New Haven, your home for community radio. That was Sir Mix-a-Lot, Posse on Broadway. And you're listening to Headlines at Basslines today. We're doing headlines from New Haven Independent, our great source for local news. Then what the commenters wrote, sort of the op-ed staple, and then with musical interludes. Here was a headline in the Independent caught my eye. They all catch my eye, but it's my eye. Cameras catch 8,000 cars in 3 months illegally passing school buses. That means 8,000 times in 3 months. Some driver ignored the stop sign at a school bus while kids are going by, willing to risk running over some little kids so you can get somewhere 2 seconds sooner, like a red light. Here's what Justin Higgins wrote. I am shocked by the headline, 8,000 cars in 90 days. That is 88 cars per day illegally passing a school bus. What is wrong with these people? Please don't answer that. Steve D wrote, how much did these cameras cost the city on the school buses? Since this article states that they just broke even, seems like they're expensive from the number of citations given. That's almost $2 million. Also, it's been 4 months since the cameras were installed. Well, actually, I'm not sure about Steve D's math. That's assuming they collected the money. I don't know. Also, it's been 4 months since the cameras installed, yet they haven't trained the hearing officers yet. So, if I get a citation back in March, I would have already waited 3 months to get a hearing. Sounds crazy that they didn't implement training sooner. Foursquare wrote, closer to the truth. New Haven Public Schools, there are a total of 66 school days across March, April, and May 2026. The breakdown for the spring semester of 2025-2026 academic calendar is as follows. March 26, 22 school days. April 26, 26, 16 school days. Spring recess, Good Friday. May 2026, 20 school days. They're closed Memorial Day. Folks, please remember we're talking about school days only, so the number is about 120 violators a day. The difference is fractions. Beth Alice wrote, this is very interesting because I received one of those solicitations. I immediately appealed due to the fact that the video supplied showed clearly that I had not gone through a stop sign. It just popped out when I was clearly parallel with the sign. Also, the bus was simply parked on the side of the road. I've yet to hear in my appeal. However, I barely escaped a serious accident when a school bus sped through a yield sign at the Beaver Hills Rotary. I called to report the said bus. No one got back to me. And finally, from All You Need to Know, that's the name of the commenter. So you're now going to find out all you need to know. All You Need to Know wrote, so my son, which basically means me, got a ticket. It was on Whaley Avenue. They sent the video as well. That's cool. That's actually, I can't get to mad. Watching the video, he was coming the opposite way by edge of the woods on Whaley. 5 cars went through, including a UPS truck, and 4 cars after, including a cop. So on that one stop, 9 cars went through the bus stop. Wow. Even the cop. I had to explain to him, even though Whaley has a number of large lanes, you still have to stop. And even though you're on the other side. Huh. I wonder, did the cop car get a ticket? I could have went to court, but then I have to miss work, which I was not able to do. So, 8,000 cars, that's $2 million. I know the city doesn't get all that, but a good portion. Where is that money going? Why are our taxes going up? I think a nice audit of the city is needed. I did pay the fine. I love our comments. They're really fun when they're working, when they're not ugly, when they're when we're as Little Feat is in this song, Willin'.
I've been warped by the rain, driven by the snow. I'm drunk and dirty, don't you know? And I'm still willing. And I was out on the road late at night. I seen my pretty Alice in every headlight. Alice, Dallas, Alice. And I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari, to Hatchapee to Tonopah, driven every kind of rig that's ever been made. Driven the back road so I wouldn't get weighed. And if you give me weed, white sand wine, and you show me a sign, I'll be willing to be moving. Well, I've been kicked by the wind, robbed by the sleet, had my head stoved in, but I'm still on my feet, and I'm still willing. Smuggles and smokes and folks from Mexico, baked by the sun every time I go to Mexico. And I'm still, and I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari, to Hatchapee to Tonopah, driven every kind of rig that's ever been made. Driven the back road so I wouldn't get weighed. And if you give me weed, white sand wine, and you show me a sign, I'll be willing to be moving.
Willin' by Little Feat on WNHH-FM, New Haven's home for community radio. I love that song. Kind of easy song to get lost in. And we're doing headlines and baselines today from the New Haven Independent. Headlines from the great stories that Tom Breen and the staff work on so hard every day to keep us informed. And then what the commentariat had to say about it, because they add so much. The headline was East Havener arrested for downtown hate crime. Tom Breen wrote the story. We got the warrant about this guy who, I don't know, he may or may not have been drinking. I smelled liquor, but he's from East Haven, 37 years old. He knocks that yarmulke off a guy's head and calls them baby killers and all this kind of stuff. And he got arrested for hate crime. A different commenter named Tom wrote, not the same Tom, somebody needs to let these people know that, quote, get out of my city, quote, baby killers, quote, go back where you belong, and asking if we like, quote, genocide, that fuels Zionism. Zionism, a movement rooting for Jewish right for self-determination in their ancestral homeland, resulted directly from the failure of the nations of the world to guarantee Jewish safety. Thank you for attention to this matter, Theodore Herzl. Supercat wrote, ancestral homeland, quote, Israel, that was created in 1948. You can't just go into someone's country, start slaughtering inhabitants, say it's your country. Are you kidding me? Save Our City wrote, I'm assuming this is Supercat's satire. Ancestral homeland Israel dates back 30 centuries. Steve D wrote, I agree, Supercat. It is more the Palestinian ancestral homeland than the Jews. Also, why can't they just get someone much older than I lived there at the time and told me the Palestinians had welcomed the Jewish people when Israel was created? It's always felt to me like history repeating itself. Why would the people that were cast out during the Holocaust then go and essentially do the same thing to a different group of people? Roger Classon Horvath wrote, historically, Israel existed before the modern use of the name Palestine. This is true in a very specific historical sense. Ancient Israelite kingdoms existed long before the modern name Palestine was used. The land was also home to other peoples for most of that history. Quote-unquote Israel appears in ancient sources from the late 13th century BC. Referring first to a people and later to kingdoms in the region, Palestine as a regional name came much later, especially after Roman rule in the 2nd century AD. And the British Mandate later used Palestine as an administrative name. The modern state of Israel was declared in 1948 after the U.S. proposed partitioning the British Mandate of Palestine into Jewish and Arab states. A modern Palestinian state was proclaimed in 1988. So, historically, Israel existed before Palestine, but both Jewish and Palestinian Arab communities have strong historical ties to the area. Think Trost wrote, your understanding of Jews is also limited. Not all Jews are Ashkenazi from Eastern Europe. Sephardic Jews and Mizrahi Jews are of Middle Eastern descent and share similar characteristics to Arabs. Jews have occupied Israel for 3,000 years, while Palestinians have been there for 1,400 years. Heather C. wrote, Super Catholic Jewish people, Muslim people, Christians, and others have existed in this area for centuries. There is archaeological proof of that fact. It's simply the control of the area swung back and forth between all kinds of tribal identities of people over the centuries as well. Genealogical DNA research has shown that all the people who have dwelled in this area for any length of time of our history share some ancestral DNA, as well as in many cases, regardless of religious or ethnic group they currently identify with, as the first modern humans came out of Africa and migrated to Europe, Asia, and the Americas to the Middle East, and the trade routes for silk, spices, and other goods have flowed back and forth through this part of our globe. And humans mixed and mingled in it and fought over it for most of humankind's existence. It is the cradle, earliest human civilization. Kevin McCarthy said, that instance is anti-Semitism, period. The charge is, in my opinion, appropriate. But people have a right to peacefully express their political views, even when you disagree with them. Think twice. I'm not a lawyer, but I spent 30 years explaining Connecticut statutes to legislators and the public. This statute, 53A 181K, has 3 parts: intent, motivation, and action. Among the actions are causing physical contact with one or more persons. The action must be done maliciously and the specific intent of harassing or intimidating the person. It must be motivated by the person's religion or other specified characteristics. The case goes to trial. I would not be surprised if the defense seeks to raise doubt about one or more of those elements. Think Trice responded, based on the reported facts, all 3 elements appear to have been met. The conduct must be carried out maliciously with specific intent to harass or intimidate. It must also be directed at an individual group because of their religion. For what have been reported, those requirements seem difficult to dispute. Any attempt to excuse or justify the conduct would have to be navigate around each of these elements, a challenge that may prove difficult given the facts available. Toadster wrote, if only police had put this much effort into investigating all the unsolved murders in New Haven, I am willing to go on a limb and say, you know what? That is a really, really cheap shot. See if you think that about Jesse Wells' song, No Kings.
and no greed, and no kings, no kings, no kings. No lies, no bullets, no bombs, and no need, and no kings, no kings, no kings. No walls, no judgments, no oppression cowering. No kings, no kings, no kings. Every color, every culture, every language, every creed. No kings, no kings, no kings. No more dying in the clutches, no more dying underneath. No kings, no kings, no kings. No more dying for the causes no one asked or no one needs. No kings, no kings, no kings. To all the dignity, the love that they deserve and need. No kings, no kings, no kings. The pursuit of happiness, the right to life and liberty. And no kings, no kings, no kings. No child going hungry, for there's plenty enough to eat. We're no kings, no kings, no kings. May I recognize your soul, that you might see the soul in me. No kings, no kings, no kings. Close your eyes and listen so that you may truly see. No kings, no kings, no kings. That the killing of my foe indeed destroys a part of me. No kings, no kings, no kings. No hatred, no violence, no starvation and no greed. And no kings, no kings, no kings.
There's Jessie Wells, who's the kind of hot new protest folk singer, singing with Joan Baez. Kind of reprising her role that she had 60 years ago, and she sang with another folk singer, Bob Dylan. So Harry says Obama said he cannot do DACA because he was not a king, and then proceeded to do it. I love Harry's comments. Okay, so thanks for joining us today at Dateline, New Haven's Headlines and Basslines. Thank you, commenters, for all you write. Thank you, reporters and editors, New Haven Independent, who are just the best in the business to cover our city so well. Give us a lot to read and comment on. We're going to take it out with the Afro-Semitic Experience performing I Wish I Knew How It Feel to Be Free from the group CD A Plea for Peace. This is Paul Bass inviting you to fly free with us all day and all night long at WNHH New Haven's home for community radio.